Howdy, and welcome back. I'm Tratus Gray, and I'm playing Magic the Gathering Arena again. This video is about Keep the Peace, its final upgrade. But that could be debatable. Let me switch screens here, and let me show you guys something. Okay, so let's pull up our MTGA assistant. Let's check out the metagame, best of one. We can kind of see what's very popular, what's working, as far as, something with positive win ratios. These are things that are being used in ranked. Mono white life gain, very popular deck to be playing right now, as well as mono red aggro. And since Keep the Peace was geared originally to be kind of a life gain slash aggro deck, I kind of wanted to show or showcase where you could be going with this. There's really no wrong way to build your deck. There's really no wrong way to build your deck. Let's just look at a few variants here. You could throw in a Giant Killer, which I considered doing in the first one. You could run Speaker of the Heavens, Selfless Savior. The Tratus, the music's a little loud. The Bounties, the Luminarch Aspirants, the Daxoses, Glass Caskets, some Banishing Light, the Bassery Cat, Heliod, Skyclave, Maul, Lurrus, Angels. Let's look at another variant. These are all like 69% win ratios. Of course, you got Bounties, Saviors, Speakers, Daxos, Mauls, Lindens, Heliod's, Luminarch, Skyclaves, Lurruses, Angels. Let's look at another one here. This one has Brood Moss, more Bassaries, Ruined Halo, Luminarchs, Lindens, Daxos, the Bounties, Selfless Savior, Hallowed Priest. There is nothing wrong with how you build your deck. Let me just point that out. There is nothing wrong with how you build your deck. Okay? Keep that in mind. Now let's look at some of the variants here. This is what I've upgraded to. Okay? If y'all remember in the original video, I threw in a Broodmoth, I threw in a Lurrus, I threw in the Linden, the Heliods. We kept, we increased the Angel Vitalities, the Hallowed Priests. We kept the Charmed Strays, Righteousness, Speakers, Pacifism, Daxos. This deck is solid. It's a solid upgrade. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this deck, and you can upgrade this deck free to play, especially as a brand new beginner. And if you haven't caught the video, look in my Magic the Gathering playlist, and you can find it for Keep the Peace Beginner's Upgrade. So this is it. I've been toying around with different variants, just kind of incorporating some of the upgrades and some of where you can go with it. But I've kind of landed so far on this one. This one is nasty just because it's got Hollow Blades. It's got Hushbringers. Now, your Hushbringers do not work with your Skyclave apparitions just because with Hushbringers, they whenever anything enters a battlefield or dies leaving the battlefield, abilities don't trigger. So this entering is not going to exile. When it says enters a battlefield, it's not going to exile a permanent. So do keep that in mind if you have a Hushbringer down. Why did I throw this in? Well, it's got lifelink, it's got flying. It's going to replace my my Angels of Vitalities here. It's also it also prevents decks like Rakdos, Croxa, just some other synergies that are going on. And it also counteracts any mono white decks out there with their own Skyclaves, right? So it kind of protects you in a way against some of these variants. And it's flying and lifelink. So it gives us that evasion that we were looking for originally that I had talked about in the deck, just having some mix in there. And of course, it does some really cool stuff. I like it. It goes well with the deck. I have 3 of them. You could go for 4. Same thing with the Hollow Blades. You could go for 4. You're going to see other variants out there. Some aggro, mono white aggro decks that do have the Hollow Blades. I've played against quite a few, especially if it goes hammer heavy. I think there's one that's called Hammer Time out there by another content creator, but there's nothing wrong with building your deck here. Okay, so when I say this is my final version, it may change next week, depends on how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling this week. This is my version. It works against those mythic decks. You're gonna see some of those you're gonna see a mono red deck we play against in the gameplay. I just figured just put just a little bit of gameplay in, just so you can kind of see how the deck works, how it plays out. Of course, when you drive this, you may play it differently. You may swap out different cards. This is my final version so far of Keep the Peace, and at least until Zendikar Rising ends, until the end of this month. I just wanted to put something out there to showcase that you can go anywhere with this deck, right? That's the beauty of upgrading those beginners decks, is that you can take them anywhere. You can take them into a deck. Maybe if you're a mono white player and you love playing that play style, you can definitely upgrade that deck for free as a beginner, and you can take it even further and maybe make this your mythic version of your deck. Could you take out the brood moths? You could. I like them personally, and that's why I threw in an extra one versus the Keep the Peace 2.0. So I threw in an extra one. I kept my Legion Angels, except I made sure that I have 3 in the sideboard. In the beginner's upgrade, we only have 2. The Disenchant, I don't know why I have it in there. I just have it because I'm like, maybe one day I will throw in some kind of sideboard or something and make this a traditional deck. If I do that, anything with an A symbol has to come out. So if you're running the deck with the Keep the Peace 2.0, anything like those Charm Strays, they have the little arena symbol. Those have to come out if you're going to play traditional, so keep that in mind. Anyway, this is the final version. The bounties replace the Charm Strays because it's a 1-drop. It still has lifelink. It doesn't get the extra counters that the Charm Strays provide whenever there's multiple copies on the board, but it does protect targets. And that is the thing about this deck, is because you're going to see a lot of decks out there whenever you play that have a lot of removal or some kind of effect. This is going to help protect some of your creatures, as well as this. Because if you don't have the 1 mana to protect a creature from a certain color, you can also sack this doggy to protect it with Indestructible. Now, the doggy does not protect you against exile effects. Do keep that in mind. That was a hard lesson for me to learn, as whenever I was playing certain things and I'm like, I'm just going to protect this, and it gets exiled. Exiled is not the same thing as death. So Indestructible prevents your creature from dying, or from destroy effects, like it says here. Effects that say destroy don't destroy a permanent with Indestructible, and if it's a creature and it can't be destroyed by damage, okay, combat damage, has nothing to do with things that just, like a dead weight. If a dead weight brings your creature's health to 0, it will still die with Indestructible on, because it wasn't combat damage. Okay, so do keep that in mind. There's some tricks about that, and I'll talk about that in a Magic 101 video later. But I added some more protection in this. It's not a straight mono white life gain. It's not. I've taken it and I've kind of given it more flexibility, per se. More, I guess you could call this more of an mono white aggro deck. The Speaker of the Heavens, yes, it is nice. It's Vigilance, lifelink, and if you do get that life going, which it is possible you could, you can start pumping angels out with this. The Hushbringers, like I said, they replaced the Angels of Vitalities. I think I'm saying that right. Vitality? Yes. I had to say it in my head. But these replaced it, but also of the effects that it does. It protects us against another mono white deck somewhat, and other trigger effects. The Luminarch Aspirants replaced what I call the Hollow Priests. The Hollow Priests get counters every time there's a life gained, right? So it gets a counter and a counter. It can build up. I replaced this for those. And then I threw in the seasoned Hallow Blades in place of my Daxos, just because it's got some very good shenanigans with Indestructible. As long as I have a card in my hand, I can get rid of it and make this Hollow Blade indestructible. It does cause problems for the opponent, especially if they're a heavy removal deck and you have things that can protect on top of being able to discard your hand. I kept 2 Banishing Lights. I kept the Heliod's because this is just freaking awesome. And anytime you are utilizing that life gain, you can put more counters on. Maul the Skyclaves. I've been seeing this showing up a lot, and I think it's very nice for this deck. We can give flying to a creature, and it gets first strike, and it gets +2/+2. Very, very nice, very nice, and it definitely needs to be in the deck. If you don't run 3 of these, at least run 2. Skyclave Apparitions. These help us remove things, and since we have so much protection here, we can keep our Skyclaves protected. We can even buff them. It makes things interesting for the deck. I added an extra Lurrus. Why? Because we can play anything from here. That's a lot of power here, and especially with the Lurrus combo with bringing out Saviors, you can keep bringing out Saviors and Bounties just to keep everything protected. It's what really makes this deck shine. You could actually play this deck 3 on down, just removing these, and increasing your Hushbringers, your Hollow Blades, and maybe another Lurrus if you wanted. You could get rid of these 3 cards. That is absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine. My play style is I do like the Banishing Lights because it gives me some extra banishment in the deck, especially whenever I have a Hushbringer out. I do keep in mind you can't use that Skyclave, but I mean you can still get a 2/2, but you're not going to exile anything. The banish, that's where it comes in. I can banish something that I want, like a Nugan or you know, things like that. The Brood Moth, very good synergy with this deck. Anything that dies is going to come back as a flying, as long as it doesn't get eaten up by a Scavenging Ooze or your graveyard exiled before all of that happens. Legion Angel, again, it can be argued that this can be taken out, but I love it. It keeps me having something in my hand and just keeps the deck playing and keeps it smooth. So 20 lands here. I got the 17 plus the 3 Cassin Ardenvels, 20 lands plus 2 more, you know, giving us essentially 22 lands for the deck. But the Emera's Call gives us some flexibility too as well, if you're ever in that high mana situation. So that's the deck. That's Keep the Peace. Again, so many different variants out there. There's no wrong way to go with this. This is just where I've taken it, and it's beautiful. I love it. It's great. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you take this deck through ranked, let me know how far you get. I bet you're gonna get very far. So till next time, I'm TraitorSaGray. I also stream on twitch.tv/TraitorSaGray Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're a beginner, you haven't seen the video, check out the video below. If you haven't gotten your free codes for your free packs, which also help you get wild cards to build those beginners decks into their first variant, something that gives you a positive win ratio that will help you get your dailies done and therefore get you cards to build that beautiful, beautiful mythic deck. Do check out my Discord below, in the description below. Check out Magic the Gathering channel and look for the sticky little pinned tweet that has a website with all those codes in it. Do say hi, and I'll catch you on the next time. Alrighty then. Let's get a few more games in if we can. Not a bad hand. Getting those 3 lands in is pretty good. Can't play anything though. Till turn 2, but that's okay. Hello, Happy Chainsaw. Go ahead and get this out. Glass casket coming. And then I can take the glass casket. Works for me. Am I gonna get a land? So I can play my Broodmoth. Use the Hollow Blade. No land. That doesn't help me. We'll play this. And this. I think I'm gonna do this just to keep her up by a notch. So what I could do is I could send this in, but we don't have to right now. We're just gonna say no attacks and end the turn. Getting another land would be extremely important. We can play Heliod next go around though. Just don't want to get too far behind. I'd like to get this out, just so if anything dies, we can let it die and get flying back. Create... oh, okay. I say we force them to discard with the Heliod. We'll block the Heliod. I'm sorry, the Hollow Blade. We'll block that. Actually. Yep. So we're gonna go straight to blocking. Force them. I mean, I'm okay with sacking this. He has to discard if he wants to keep the Hollow Blade alive. So we're forcing him to get rid of something in his hand, which okay, so we resolve it. Now we could have blocked with this on the other target, the Evercoil Phoenix, and then sacked our Savior. We could have done that. Played it a little bit better, but this helps too. This is going to be a huge hit. Might as well make you stronger. got some of that life back with the Hushbringer. Ooh, excuse me. I had to sneeze there. Actually, we made it look like we had an instant by being in full control, so not bad, not bad. All that glitters. Okay. Well, we might as well just get rid of you. Because you'll die. And do we have lethal? 7, 10, yeah. We have lethal. Oops, indeed. Sometimes people get really crazy to attack and they just forget that I should have been defensive, and that's okay. Worked out better for us. We kept playing our cards, kept posing threats on the board, and we were smart with our plays, and it worked out. It worked out. Alrighty. We get another one. We'll see against Robert M. Tio? Not a terrible hand. We got our 3 lands. I like that. I like getting at least 3 lands. Lets me know that, you know, well, we could get flooded. There's always a chance. But yeah. America. God bless America. Playing mono. Get this out. Get that life back. There we go. End the turn. Bolt Hound coming down. Okay, we're gonna get some life back. And we can protect our bounty. This is huge. This is why I put the dog. Annex coming down, threatening a Amber Cleave on the next play, possibly. It makes this all more worthwhile. That life back. So if they have the Amber Cleave, you're gonna have to put it on something. So if they put it on one of these, it gives it a 3. So it'll only end up doing 6 plus the 2. We don't have to block. We do not need to block. take the Amber Cleave. Or the Bolt Hound, at least. We'll put this down just to get some more health back. Boom. And we have protection. Yeah. That was a nice mono red deck, but we saw it coming a mile away and we were ready for it. All right. Let's see if we can get another one in. Oof. It is good. Maybe we will draw into land. Maybe. Since they are coming in with a scry, I did not draw into land. I will to go ahead and do this. Tap. Just say done. I get to play 2 creatures next go around, or I can just do the aspirant. I think I'm going to go for the 2 creatures. Did my opponent DC? Or is this a really tough decision? Okay. They just didn't realize it was their turn, probably. I'm gonna do this route. Get more threats on the board versus just doing the one. Okay, so we can Skyclave that. Probably not a bad idea. Get some damage in, a little bit of life. Okay. Interesting. Did not get any more land. Let's get some life going. We'll just send this one in. In the turn. And then I'll put the next one on my Skyclave, I think. No. I'm happy to take the 4. This is going to keep us going. This is going to make things more interesting. Let's get it on our life gain. And let's go all in. I'm okay with just saying no. That way they don't get another creature on the board, and I can just fly right over them. Times 2. No blocks. Can I double? Is that possible? Yes. I think I'm perfectly fine. Let's do this. That way we can kill something if need be. Some life. There we go. In turn. Resolve. He has nothing with reach, so he's dead. Just because we can. Let's just get rid of that. Mm-hmm. Alrighty then. There we go. Not bad. Not bad. It's a good deck. I like it.